Hello, and welcome to episode 10 of building our own payroll software. In this episode, we are finally going to display pay statements on the dashboard. Alright, let's create our component, paystatements.tsx. We can go ahead and copy everything from quick info, an older component, and then we get rid of everything. And we're good to go. Then we head over to Flowbyte, the unofficial non-sponsor of this video, and we yoink their table component. Paste it in, and then we let ESLint fix up the HTML. Alright, then we sift through about 1 million characters of styling and fix it up so it fits in the card. Very nice, it is taking shape. There is too many rows though, so let's cut some of those out, and now we can focus on making it our own. If we take a quick look at Payworks, Canada's industry-leading payroll software, they display the date, period, empty type column, and the net pay. We can do better than that. Let's do all of these along with gross pay and deductions, and we make sure our type is not empty. The next step is to render individual rows, and I decided to create a separate function for this. A simple function that returns a table entry with the data filled in. Data? Anyways, in addition to a work in progress option drop-down menu. For now, let's hard code some data, and look at that. Isn't it cute, professional? The table is tabling. The buttons don't do anything yet, but that's okay. Now let's push up these changes before I somehow accidentally discard them for the second time. Alright, to get some data into this table, we can create a helper function that accesses the database through Prisma. To do this, one second. Okay, I see. Okay. Alright, so let's grab the first 10 and try console logging the result. Very nice, it grabbed all the rows in the database. Now let's clean up the code and map over the data. It's getting there, but this file is still a little messy. Don't worry, this code will look pristine off camera. The investors gotta be impressed, but hey, look at this. Looks pretty good. Next up is pagination, which is surprisingly easy unless I'm doing it wrong. Basically, we grab the page and limit from the search parameters in the URL, and we use those to paginate the data. And in the pagination controls, we just push up new parameters to the router as the user makes selections. Here it is working in action. We can see the URL changing as we navigate the controls. So it started out pretty easy, but it ended up getting very intertwined very quickly, so I moved everything to a separate pagination controls component to handle all of the logic. The 3 handle functions here just update the router with new params, and then the rest of the logic just determines what options to display, so that includes the range of pages and where to place ellipses if needed. Here's what it looks like with 10 rows and a limit of 2 per page. Pretty simple case, no ellipses needed, and of course you can click through the controls. Setting the limit to 1, we can see that the ellipses come into play as there are more pages to display. It behaves in a pretty standard way as you would expect. Then if we do a limit of 4, we can see what it does with uneven pages, so the last page is just 2 entries. And lastly, this is probably how the table usually looks for most users, with a limit of 12. Pretty good. Let's push these changes up. We're missing gross pay on the pay statement model, so I'm gonna hit a migration real quick. With that, we can update the database entries to include gross pay. And there we go, we have a real and true data in the table now. Another quick commit. To enable privacy mode for this component, we just wrap the sensitive data in our private content component. Easy as that, it's working. Then we just do this for the other columns as well. And we're done. Let's go ahead and commit these changes and take a look at the final result.
Somebody go clean it up.
Oh, baby, don't you go. Don't you leave me all alone.
Nobility pay.
Oh, baby, don't you go. Don't you leave me all Oh, baby, don't you go. Don't you leave me all alone.
And that's it for this episode. We laid the foundation for pay statements, and we can improve on this in the future episodes. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing to keep up with the project and see where this all goes. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.